Your favorite songs are quietly exposing how your nervous system works, and most people never notice it. Think about that for a second, because the playlist you return to on tired evenings or long drives is not random at all. It is showing how you deal with stress, how you process emotion, and how your brain searches for balance in a noisy world. Most people think music is just entertainment, something playing in the background while life happens. But psychology studies tell a different story, because your music taste is one of the clearest emotional fingerprints you leave behind. Maybe you always replay sad songs when life feels heavy, or maybe you need loud beats to feel alive again, or maybe complex melodies calm you in ways you cannot explain. And if any of that sounds familiar, this video is for you. Your music taste reflects how your nervous system is wired, and by the end of this video, you will understand what that means for your personality, your energy, and even your growth. Before we go deeper, let me ask you something. What kind of music do you listen to the most? Let me know in the comments, and let's find out what this means for your personality. There is one personality trait that predicts music taste more than all the others, and once you see it, you will never listen the same way again. We will get there. But first, notice the last song you played on repeat, and ask yourself quietly why that one chose you. There is one personality trait that predicts music taste more strongly than all the others, and psychologists consistently find the same answer. It is called openness to experience. Openness is not about being outgoing or adventurous in a loud way. It is about how deeply you feel beauty, how curious you are about new ideas, and how much novelty your mind craves. Researchers have shown that openness is the strongest predictor of genre preference, especially for complex and unconventional music like classical, jazz, blues, alternative, and even heavy metal. People high in openness are not just listening to music, they are exploring it. Studies show they react more intensely to slow and sad music, often describing feelings like nostalgia, wonder, and peaceful reflection. What sounds depressing to one person feels meaningful and beautiful to another. And here is the interesting tension. If openness makes some people crave depth and emotional intensity, why do others feel restless or bored with the same songs? If this helps, leave a like and comment how it has helped. Research suggests that people high in openness get tired of repetition faster, because novelty is part of how their brain feels alive. They chase new sounds the way others chase comfort. And here is something even more powerful. In one study, people rated themselves as more open after listening to classical music, which means music might not just reflect who you are, it might be quietly shaping you. And that changes everything. Now let's talk about energy, because this is where a lot of people suddenly recognize themselves. Some people wake up already buzzing, needing movement, sound, and stimulation just to feel normal. Psychologists call this extroversion, and it simply means your brain feels best with higher levels of excitement. Studies show extroverted people gravitate toward fast, upbeat music like pop, rap, dance, and electronic, and they use music constantly in the background while working, studying, or being around others. Music helps them stay activated. But there is another group that uses music for a very different reason. Neuroticism is the trait linked to emotional sensitivity and stress, and people higher in neuroticism often turn to intense or rebellious music like alternative, rock, and heavy metal, not for fun, but for regulation. Research shows they use music to process feelings, calm anxiety, and survive emotional waves that others barely notice. So here is the quiet question hiding underneath your playlist. Are you using music to create energy, or are you using it to manage emotion? Because those are two completely different nervous systems. One is chasing stimulation, the other is seeking relief, and most people never realize which one they are. They just press play and hope to feel better. But understanding this gives you power, because once you know why you listen, you can start choosing what you actually need. And we are not done yet, because connection and control play a role too. Some people listen to music with their whole heart. They feel lyrics deeply, notice subtle emotions in melodies, and sometimes cry over songs they have never even heard before. Psychologists call this agreeableness, and it simply means you are more empathetic, more emotionally open to others, and more tuned in to feeling. Studies show agreeable people experience stronger emotional reactions to all kinds of music, happy or sad, familiar or new. They do not just hear music, they connect with it. And then there is conscientiousness, which is almost the opposite energy. Conscientious people crave structure, clarity, and order, and research shows they are less drawn to chaotic or rebellious genres like heavy metal or aggressive rock. Their nervous system prefers predictability. Music becomes something that supports focus, routine, and stability rather than emotional release. Here is what matters. These traits shape how safe you feel in sound. Some people want music that holds them emotionally. Others want music that organizes their mind. Neither is better. They are just different survival strategies. And when you zoom out, something powerful appears. Your playlist is quietly balancing your inner world, giving you connection when you feel alone, or control when life feels messy. But there is one final twist, because music does not only respond to your personality, it slowly pushes back. Most people think personality shapes music, but psychology shows it also works the other way around. In one study, participants listened to classical music, and afterward, they rated themselves as more open to experience. Not permanently, but noticeably. Just a short listening session changed how they perceived their own curiosity and creativity. Let that sink in. Your playlist is not passive. It is training your emotional system every single day. And this is where things get uncomfortable, because most people let algorithms decide what they feel. Autoplay picks the mood. The feed chooses the energy. You follow whatever comes next without realizing it is slowly shaping your inner world. If you always reach for sad songs, you reinforce sadness. If you always need loud stimulation, silence becomes harder. If you only play comfort music, growth stays distant. This does not make you weak, it makes you human, but it also means you have more control than you think. Your music habits are either strengthening your emotional patterns or gently expanding them. And here is the question nobody asks. If sound can change how open you feel, how calm you feel, how alive you feel, why are you letting randomness decide? Because once you see this, you stop listening unconsciously. And that is exactly where real change begins. So here is the simple shift that changes everything. Stop asking what you feel like listening to. Start asking what you need. If you are high in openness, feed your curiosity on purpose. Explore new genres, rotate playlists often, let unfamiliar sounds stretch your thinking instead of replaying the same emotional loop. If you lean toward extroversion, use upbeat music to activate your body, but also practice quiet sometimes, because your nervous system grows when it learns to rest without stimulation. If you feel emotions deeply or struggle with stress, notice when you use music to survive instead of heal. Let intense songs help you process, then gently guide yourself back to calmer sounds, so you do not stay trapped in the same feeling. If you are agreeable, protect your emotional sensitivity. Choose music that lifts you, not only music that makes you feel everything. And if you are conscientious, let music support focus and structure, but allow yourself moments of chaos too, because creativity lives there. This is not about fixing yourself. This is about working with how you are wired. Your playlist can be comfort. Your playlist can be energy. Your playlist can be therapy, but only if you choose it intentionally. So next time you press play, remember this. You are not just selecting a song, you are shaping your inner world. And once you realize that, your music stops being background noise. It becomes a tool for becoming who you want to be.